Oh, we're live. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. And today we're going to be giving a presentation about IFTTT SEO Academy version 2.0. For those of you that have been on the fence or have heard about it and hadn't got a chance to get inside and see what it's about, we're going to be going through that today. We noticed a lot of people RSVP'd that are already members of the Academy. So you guys are welcome to stay. It's probably not going to be anything new to you. This is more for the people that have limited experience with it. So I just kind of want to save you guys some time, those of you that are already Academy members, but you're more than welcome to stay. You might pick something up as well. So we've got Adam on, and it looks like Hernan just snuck in, tried to sneak in anyways. So I'm going to say hello to Adam. What's up, bud?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Glad to have everybody here, and thanks for RSVPing. It really helps us when people click on yes on these because these are fairly informal, but it's nice to know and helps us kind of gauge stuff. So if you guys want to say what's up, type something in the event box right there. We'll see it. We're watching the event page. So by all means, if you want to say hi, please do, and we're happy to be here.
Tell us where you're from. That's a kind of standard thing that people do on webinars, right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying. I'll go into it. We did this last time. I really liked it. It is awesome. This is like the perfect weather time. Like it is awesome outside. It's like almost exactly 70. It's blue skies, hardly a breeze. I was just outside until about 10 minutes ago. So
nice. So Hernan, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, I'm Hernan Vasquez from Argentina. It's really good to be here. I'm excited to have all of you guys in here. I'm excited to what we have for the presentation today. So.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know us that well, Adam and Hernan are both partners of mine. We have two additional partners, Marco and Chris, and they're not available at the moment, but you know, we make up Semantic Mastery, and you guys will get to hear a little bit more about us here in just a few minutes. So we're going to give it about another minute for people to roll in, and then we're going to go ahead and start the presentation. It looks like we have Keith from Wakefield in the UK. Well, welcome, awesome. Keith. That's pretty cool. And Shane says, keen to see if there's been any updates since I built my networks last. Shane, that's a good question. If you're a part of the Academy already, we just had an update webinar yesterday, which was probably the best update webinar so far. It was our 5th update webinar. And we had a lot of really good comments at the end of that. So if you're already in the Academy, I highly recommend that you go check out the update webinars. If you're not, then yeah, you might pick something up today. And we certainly would encourage you to join the Academy if that was the case. So.
Yeah, people were loving that yesterday. You guys were giving some awesome tips, some new sites, some stuff people can use, getting some do follow links. So it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was real high level stuff. I pissed off a couple of my partners for giving away too much.
So. Oh yeah, you did. But it was really good. We really tried to keep that updated because IFTTT, well, you'll find out, guys, for those that are not familiar, that it's super dynamic, and it's good to have updates and what's working and what's not. So we really appreciate the input from the members as well, and you're gonna find out more about that in the webinar. But it was really, really good. We really enjoyed that.
All right, well, we're almost about 5 minutes in, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the screen, and we're gonna get into this presentation, guys. And like I said,
Sounds
go
good.
ahead and jump on, say if you have any questions during the presentation, you can post them on the events page. We're not going to get to questions until the end. We will answer questions at the end though. So I recommend that if you have a question, just post it on the events page, and don't freak out if it doesn't get answered immediately, because again, we're going to have whole questions at the end. Posting the same question multiple times will not get it answered any quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen, guys, and we're going to get right into this. And at some point, we might switch back out of the presentation to actually go to a browser window. I think I want to show some live examples today, which we haven't done in the past on these webinars, but I think we probably will today. So I think you guys will want to see some of those. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the screen. You guys should be seeing my presentation slides. Adam or somebody, can you confirm?
Got the black screen right now.
Oh, shit, again? Okay, well, then I'm going to have to just do the whole screen. That's fine. You guys should be able to see it. If not, I can zoom in. How about now?
Yep, we got your entire screen.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're going to try to run through this presentation, guys. I don't want to bore you with presentations, but I kind of want to get through what this technique is and what we're going to share, and a little bit of backstory, which I'll try to go through fairly quickly because a lot of you have probably heard parts of that anyways. So let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about, by the way, automating SEO, social signals, and ranking with a 100% white hat strategy. It's a bold statement, I know, but we're going to prove it. And we are Semantic Mastery, as mentioned before. It's 5 of us that make up Semantic Mastery. We actually met about almost 4 years ago now, I suppose, and we through another mastermind community that we were all together in, and we ended up starting to hold weekly meetings, accountability meetings, to kind of help push each other's businesses forward. And we ended up realizing that we had a lot of really good things to bring to this industry. So we ended up forming Semantic Mastery, and that is who we are. And from left to right, it's me. I'm Bradley Benner. This is Adam Moody, Marco Benavides, Chris Pilwain, and Hernan Vasquez. So that's who we are. Our promise today: you'll know how to automate SEO and video ranking using 100% free and Google approved techniques. What we're going to cover in this training is how to use a super powerful and free method that puts SEO and social media work on complete autopilot. This is a 3-step process that we use to rank videos, websites, and other digital assets with syndication networks. Okay, and that's really the key to it. And it's very, very, very powerful. And the 2 things that you need to do before ever thinking about publishing content to YouTube or your blog. All right, this strategy that we're going to be talking about today, guys, works well for blog syndicate, or for ranking websites, local websites, affiliate websites, any kind of websites, as well as videos. We do a lot of video SEO stuff. A lot, probably, I'd say close to half or even 60% of our students already are in the YouTube and video marketing space. So we got a lot of video SEO people here too. And bonus, if you stay until the end, you're going to receive our exclusive set of recipes and triggers for free. Okay. And these have been the recipes that we've developed over the last several years. I've been using this particular strategy since 2012. So over 4 years of development and testing. And you guys will get access to the exact same recipes that we use for free. So here are some traits of a successful entrepreneur. These are kind of things that we've seen over the years now with working with hundreds and even thousands of people. That these are the kind of things that we see the ambitious people, the real entrepreneurs, which every one of you that are here attending today are entrepreneurs, or else you wouldn't even be here. So I'm sure you guys carry most of these traits. Passion, burning desire, and commitment, that's absolutely critical. I mean, and that's pretty much goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship. Focus and massive action. You have to stay focused and take massive action in any endeavor in order for you to be able to succeed, right? And just shiny object syndrome, that kind of thing, is too many distractions on the web, and that's where I see a lot of people fail, is they end up getting spread too thin because they try to do too many things. Really focusing and taking massive action on one particular method or a business model is really where you're going to get your most success. You must be willing to innovate and always be pushing limits. That's something that we do at Semantic Mastery all the time. Fortunately, we have a team, so we're able to do, push the limits all the time. And we've got people like Marco Benavides, who's our mad scientist, who just breaks stuff all the time, which is awesome. Share your experiences with others, pay it forward. Similar to what we try to do with Semantic Mastery is give freely of our time with our Hump Day Hangouts webinars every week. That's just something we like to do, is give an hour of our time back to the community every week and help newbies and even seasoned veterans. All right, and ability to automate, outsource, and scale. Guys, this is key. In order to be successful in business, you really need to learn how to automate and outsource and scale your business. If you're just a one-man show, a one-man operation, you will hit a glass ceiling at some point where you won't be able to scale anymore because there's only so many hours in a day. So being able to automate, outsource, and scale is key to growing an organization that can pay you even without you being there. Okay, and that's part of the strategy we're going to be sharing today. All right, so I'm going to run through this very quickly. I don't want to go spend a lot of time on this, so I'm going to actually just bring all this stuff up, and we're going to run through this very quickly, guys. I'd rather get to some demonstrations and some questions and answers than go through a big, long backstory. So who am I? I started doing SEO in 2009, really by myself. It was something that I fell into. It wasn't something that I really had any interest in at first. I didn't even hardly knew how to turn on a computer back then. I mean, I say that tongue in cheek, but I really was not very computer literate. Okay, I worked in, I was an electrical contractor, so I worked with tools and I worked with my hands. I was never behind a desk, never sat behind a computer, other than to surf the internet, really. So, and I wasn't. What happened was I flipped real estate back in 2003 to 2007 when the real estate bubble burst in the United States. I basically lost that business. I went bankrupt, and so I went back to doing electrical work for a couple of years. And then in 2009, I decided that I wanted more. Working as a contractor just wasn't fulfilling for me. So I wanted more. And so I decided to get back into real estate, or tried to. And the landscape had changed considerably. Like the whole real estate environment in the US had changed considerably. And so although I was able to find properties and tie them up under contract, and I was a property flipper, a wholesaler, that kind of thing. So all I had to do was get properties under contract, and then I would sell the contract for a higher price to a higher bidder. And I was able to lock properties up, but I wasn't able to sell them. I wasn't able to find buyers. And I knew that there were other real estate investors out there that were successful, and I started modeling them and taking them to lunch and things like that and asking them what they were doing differently than what I was doing. And in 2009, the successful real estate investors had an online marketing strategy. They had an online presence that was strong, and they were using that for marketing. Well, I didn't, because I had run my previous real estate business with traditional marketing, like flyer inserts, bandit signs, direct mail, yellow pages ads, no kidding, things like that. And so in 2009, that was really ineffective altogether. So I didn't have money at the time to hire a digital marketing expert. So I ended up saying, you know what, I'm going to have to learn how to do this. And that was when I started researching how to build websites, and I learned about WordPress, and then I learned about search engine optimization. And when I got into SEO and I started learning about SEO, that's really what bit me. And I basically became fascinated with Google and search engines and how to manipulate search results. And so I got into that in 2009. I started off just doing local lead gen. I didn't do any client work because I had no reputation. I had no portfolio. I couldn't prove that I knew what the hell I was doing. So I started building my own lead gen sites. For those of you that are unaware of what that is, I would rank sites that I built, WordPress websites. I would rank them in Google. And then I would, with phone numbers, tracking phone numbers that I would have installed on the websites. And when I started to receive calls, I would contact contractors mainly. I worked mainly in the contractor and home services industry because I was a former contractor myself. So once I started receiving calls, I would contact contractors and say, look, I've got these leads for sale. Are you interested? You can either purchase the leads directly from me, or you can rent or lease the actual site and just pay me a flat fee, or we can end up doing a revenue share. And that's the most lucrative model for lead gen. And that's what a lot of my lead gen business now is in the revenue share. That's how I do it. And revenue share is where I take a percentage of any leads that close that actually turn into jobs. So I take a percentage of the overall job profit. Okay, so that's what revenue share is. Did that in 2009, and I ran that lead gen business until 2012. I still have a lead gen business today. It makes up probably about 30% of my income now. But what happened was during the winters, my income would slow down because I was doing lead gen, working with contractors mainly, and I live in the state of Virginia. So the winters get harsh enough to where work slows down, and so my income would slow down as well. My income would drop during the winter, and although I was still surviving, it was fine. It kind of sucked, and so I wanted to look for a more steady source of revenue, one that was more reliable, that I could count on month in and month out. So I opened up an agency in 2012. By that time, I had a portfolio of sites that I could point to and show as examples, so I knew what I was doing. And so in 2012, in March of 2012, I opened up my local agency, and I started consulting with local businesses and providing SEO, video SEO, maps SEO, social media, and content marketing services. Okay. And I really just started out with SEO, but it evolved into social media and content marketing very, very quickly. And in part because of the strategy that we're going to share with you today, which is the IFTTT SEO syndication network strategy. Okay. I hit a glass ceiling within about 18 months, guys. I was doing everything by myself, 100% on my own. I was a solo act, a solopreneur. So I did everything. I did all the work. I did all the prospecting, all the sales pitches, all the order fulfillment, all the reporting. I did everything, all the link building, the content generation. And as you could imagine, within 18 months, I was unable to get anything else. I was unable to scale anymore because there just weren't enough hours in the day. Okay. And so although I was making really, really good money, I was working all the time, and it was just difficult to maintain. And again, I wasn't able to scale. So interestingly enough, I stumbled upon IFTTT through a $7 WSO. For those of you that have been around for a few years, you might remember WSOs were called Warrior Special Offers. JVZoo is, I guess, comparable, although better than the Warrior WSOs were, but JVZoo offers are, I guess, similar to what WSOs used to be. So I got a, I guess Warrior Plus is a forum now that has a lot of the more inexpensive like PDF type courses and stuff. Well, that's what this was, a $7 WSO PDF guide by David Koss. It was called Stupid Simple Web Programming. And it was fascinating. It was when IFTTT.com was a brand new site. So there was only a handful of applications and sites that would connect or work with it, would integrate with it. But it was fascinating. And it taught me how to set up these little syndication recipes where I could take, you know, content that I generated on either a blog, like a website, or a YouTube video, and every time I published the content, it would automatically push it out to another property, Web 2.0 and or social media property and bookmarking services, that kind of stuff. So it was a way to automate SEO, link building, social signals for videos, embeds, and it was really, really cool. And there was only a handful of properties that would work with it, but it taught me what it was, and it's called Stupid Simple Web Program because it's very, very simple to set these recipes up. We're going to show you how to do that in this presentation today anyways. All right, so I started testing by setting up a few syndication networks. I actually tested on 2. I was building a tree service site in Fairfax, Virginia at the time, because I do a lot of work in the tree service industry. So I built a little WordPress site for local lead gen, and I connected a little small IFTTT network to it. And then I also had a YouTube channel that I was trying to do some video SEO. That's when I first started testing video SEO waters. Like, it was not something I had done a whole lot of to that point. But I had these little recipes that I learned how to put together, and I started just publishing content to the YouTube channel and blog posts to the blog. And what I noticed about a week or 2 weeks later, because it was a new site, was I was just doing a manual Google search just to see where, you know, where the site was, where the videos were, because I didn't have, up until that point, I didn't have any like super fast ranking experience. In other words, I hadn't really been successful at ranking something very quickly. I was successful at ranking things, but it would always take some time for me to get them to rank. Within about 2 weeks, I noticed that I had both a video and one of my pages on the website, the new website that I had set up for tree services, ranking on page 1. And I got really, really excited. And so I started digging into it because I couldn't figure out at first what the hell it was. And I remember having that syndication network that I had attached to it, but I didn't think that that could have been it because it just seemed too easy. But sure enough, when I started digging into it a little bit more, trying to figure out what had happened and why that site and that video were doing so well, I started noticing, like on page 2 and page 3 of the search results, that some of those properties that I was syndicating the content to through IFTTT were ranking on page 2 and page 3. So they were brand new Web 2.0 sites like Blogger Guys, Tumblr, WordPress, Delicious, Indigo, some types of properties like that. I started noticing those posts with the same exact title as my YouTube video and as the blog post were starting to rank on page like 2 and page 3. But that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute, and I started clicking through and looking at them and realized that what it was my content that was being syndicated to these Web 2 networks and social media sites. And it was providing SEO juice that was 100% automated, and it was helping me to rank. Now, this was back in 2012, so it's certainly more complicated now, but the principle is still the same. Okay, and so when I realized that, I got really, really excited, and I started I just continued to publish more content, more videos, more blog posts, and I started seeing the same results. I started seeing content rank a lot faster with less and less work, or no additional work, really, okay? And so once I saw that it was repeatable with those 2 properties, I started testing it with other channels and sites. I even tested it with a couple client sites, and I was able to consistently repeat those results. So I got smart, because once I realized I had a system that was repeatable, then I decided to learn how to train virtual assistants and started to scale my business. And that's when I started building a network of virtual assistant employees, and they started building networks for me, these IFTTT syndication networks. You guys will see what we're talking about here in just a minute. But once I started having virtual assistants build those networks for me, I was able to scale very quickly, and my business really took off. And so that's really the backstory of all this, guys. And hopefully that was helpful, but I wanted to kind of give you a backstory as to where it came from, and know that this has been in development since 2012. So we've got over 4 years, about 4.5 years now, of experience using this method. And it's just been incredible that it's been consistent for that amount of time, okay? So scale my business. The tool that we wanted when we joined as a group called Semantic Mastery, again, we were just a group of, business owners. Each one of us had our own businesses, our own marketing businesses. And we met and would weekly to just kind of hold each other accountable and set goals for the following week. And it was just kind of a way to push each other together. And we always had discussions about things that we wanted, tools, services, that kind of stuff that would make our businesses run smoother. It would make our jobs easier, right? And so these are some of the things that we talked about. We wanted something that was automated, something that was set and forget, free if possible, right? Of course, who doesn't like free? Something that would give us relevant backlinks, powerful social signals, was evergreen, something that wasn't like a loophole, a ranking hack. Don't get us wrong, we use ranking hacks all day long too, guys. Absolutely, we use every tool to take advantage of everything that we can exploit. But there are certain things that we want to be able to use and rely on for long term, for the long haul, right? So we wanted something evergreen that wasn't going to be just a ranking hack that could disappear in a few days, a few weeks, or a few months. Does that make sense? And hands-free, right? It had to be automated and hands-free, or else it wasn't worth doing. And it's hard to scale if you have to do a lot of manual work without hiring more employees anyways, okay? So luckily, IFTTT, or if this then that, was the tool that we had at our disposal, and we really hadn't even thought at that point of how powerful it was, because it was really still so new. But when I started sharing my results with these IFTTT syndication networks with my partners in the accountability group, they started testing it with their own properties, their own websites, their own videos, and they started to see results as well. And once we had consistent, repeatable results across each one of us were all experiencing the same thing, we decided, what, this is something that we shouldn't just keep to ourselves. We'd like to share it with the world. And again, I had developed training already for training virtual assistants how to build these networks. So we already even had the training pretty much in place. So it's just a matter of packaging it up and bringing it to the market to help other SEOs and aspiring marketers to achieve the same kind of results that we were getting, okay? So if this, then that. Essentially, what's inside of if this, then that, IFTTT.com, and that's what it stands for, is if this, then that. It's really simple, stupid simple web programming, right? It consists of a series of triggers and actions. So this is an example recipe, and this is showing if an RSS feed detects, if you have, you submit an RSS feed when you create this recipe, and if the RSS feed has a new item in it, which means a new blog post, a new post has been published to the blog, then it will trigger whatever and do whatever it is that we tell it we want it to do. In this case, we want it to trigger WordPress.com and syndicate that post to WordPress.com. Okay, so if this, then that. If RSS feed detects new item, then post it or publish it to WordPress.com. Okay, so hopefully you guys get that. Inside of IFTTT, all the properties that integrate with it, properties and applications, and Web 2.0, social media sites, mobile apps, all of those are called channels inside of IFTTT. This is just an example of some of the channels. I think there's close to, I don't know, isn't there over 200 channels now? Or non?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually, I haven't checked last time, but yeah, they're definitely more than that, actually, because they keep updating, and they keep adding more and more to the mix. That's the deal with IFTTT, that it's so dynamic. I mean, they keep investing on it, and they keep making available new and new channels, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. And it's just incredible. Like, IFTTT, guys, is a very versatile and robust tool that can do so many things. We use it in a very, very specific way to help with content syndication, SEO, social media, help to rank things, help to get more exposure, drive traffic. But we use it as a very specific way. But it does so much more than just what we're going to share with you, okay? In the context of this webinar, we're only going to stick to the method that we use it, but it really is a very, very powerful tool, and it's free. It's just incredible, okay? So, this is a tool that's been around, and there's been a lot of really good articles now that you can just do some searches for and find some really cool articles and check out some of the amazing recipes that people have created inside of IFTTT. And here's one of them. Buffer's one. Buffer's similar to Hootsuite in that it's a social media management kind of like a posting application, and it's fairly large. Buffer is, and it's got a great article here way back in. This was in July of last year, talking about IFTTT recipes. and hacks for hardcore social media productivity. So, this is just one of many different kinds of articles that you can see some of the power of IFTTT, creating just simple recipes, but some of the really cool things you can do. And I encourage you, after this webinar today, to go do a little bit of research on your own and find out what this application can do. All right. So the IFTTT SEO strategy. This is a graphic. Some of the properties have changed. IFTTT, the channels, there's channels that come and go. So properties or integrations that come and go. There's some that have been around since day one, but it is, it's very fluid. It changes, it evolves kind of quickly, and that's why we have update webinars on this once a month, so that we can notify everybody of updates and changes, because it's something that occurs fairly regularly. But this graphic just represents what a basic IFTTT syndication network is. This one being triggered by YouTube, but you could replace this center point with your money site, for example, or your website, your blog, okay? By the way, you can trigger from other locations too. It doesn't have to be a website or from YouTube. You can trigger from Facebook pages, from Twitter, from LinkedIn. I mean, from various types of blogs. They don't have to be like self-hosted sites. They could be Blogger, they could be WordPress, Tumblr, Medium. There's just a lot of different things that you could trigger with, okay? But this just shows that if I were to publish or upload a video to my YouTube channel or live stream it to my YouTube channel, I could have it automatically syndicate to all of these different properties. And our IFTTT networks with some of the other, what we call live stream sites, we have on average between 20 to 25 properties in a single tier or a single IFTTT syndication ring. Okay, depending on how many of the additional properties, there's some optional properties that you can add into the networks we talk about inside the training. But yeah, it runs as up to 25 different properties that we can syndicate our content to, and it's 100% on autopilot, all right? So the benefits is, it's not just about rankings, guys. We don't teach just rankings. That's not the end goal. The end goal is really traffic, right? The end goal is to create conversions, whether that's make a sale or generate a lead, get an opt-in, anything at all. That's really what you want. And so ranking helps to generate the traffic, which then in turn should help generate the conversions. But it's not just about rankings. The benefits of using IFTTT syndication networks is you get your content to spread out across the web. Okay, you can get it across multiple properties, which is got an absolute SEO benefit. But at the same time, you can generate traffic. Forget SEO for a minute. It can generate traffic because your content is discoverable on other platforms where there are people. There are people hanging out, people that use other platforms. So you can get exposure and traffic that way. And then that in turn perpetuates the SEO, because you not only get the SEO signals, powerful backlinks, the social signals, but you get traffic signals. And engagement signals are very, very important to the algorithm now, okay, for the ranking algorithm. So auto backlinks and social signals, high authority sources, Google Social Data Hub Partners. Social Data Hub Partners has been a term that Google used for properties like Delicious, for example, and Digo and Blogger and Twitter, different types of social media applications that share their data with Google. That's what Social Data Hub Partners are. Now they've put it under a different term recently, but if you do a search for Google Social Data Hub Partners, you'll see what the Social Data Hub Partners originally was about. So a lot of these properties that we have integrated into our networks, guys, share their data with Google. So we're actually using Google approved properties, if that makes sense. Okay. Brand signals and awareness. This is really important. We talk about building branded networks. We probably won't get into that today because this is a limited webinar. But when we create branded networks around our websites or our business websites or blogs or whatever, we are actually increasing the authority and giving Google the brand signals that it loves, okay, which will help to rank the site. And they also end up being, the IFTTT network properties end up being an SEO firewall that protects your websites, your money sites, your money properties from bad SEO tactics, because you can do the more spammy SEO stuff to your IFTTT syndication networks instead of directly to your website. And you still get the benefit of the SEO juice without the negativity that often happens with building, with traditional link building, okay? Video embeds and deep linking. This is really important. Anybody doing video SEO, these networks are absolutely killer for video SEO, and they're 100% automated, which there's no other tool out there that does that. that I know, that I'm aware of, that's 100% automated. And this is, and so it's really good for that. And deep linking, anybody that does any sort of blogging for SEO, you know that deep linking is really important. So that's getting links back, you know, building links to articles that might be deep into a silo. But if you've got internal linking structure correct within a silo, then all that juice flows back up to your primary keywords, and that's really important. And IFTTT syndication networks can provide that again on autopilot, and it improves indexing rates. All right, here's some examples. These are some of Hernan's screenshots. So Hernan, if you want to take over for a minute.
Sure. Yeah, those are some really good examples. On the first, those are two different projects and two different clients that I have been working for. And the first one is when we started using IFTTT for a client. You know, as you can see, and there's a bunch of things that we show on IFTTT SEO Academy, but the first one is when we started using IFTTT techniques on that client. As you can see, it was jumpy as hell, and you know, the rankings went up, and they are still going up. Maybe we should update that that slide, because the rankings are still going really strong. And on the other screenshot that you can see, that's SEMrush, which I think is pretty cool, by the way, because as you can see on January 2013, that client had a penalization. You know, he got penalized, the website, and as you can see, he was over 20,000 visitors a month, and he went, you know, from to total zero. And then we started doing some IFTTT, and as you can see, the first arrow is when we started doing IFTTT, and the second arrow is when we started actually boosting the networks. And as you can see, you know, the rankings has been going up nicely, and now we are at the point that we are near at the point that there were, like, in January 2013. As you can see, it's not like instant is work, but it makes sense because it will allow you to increase not only traffics, not only rankings, but traffic as well. So
yes, and that's the key, guys. It's, you know, you should be focusing more on traffic and conversions than just rankings. Okay, and that's something we definitely want to emphasize here, because that's really important. You can generate traffic in many other places than just Google search, although that's certainly valuable, no doubt. And that's, you know, and then that's something you always want to try to strive for as well. But there's so much traffic to be had in other places as well. Keep that in mind. All right. So how do we make it work? We set up accounts and interlink. That's really important, guys. That's how you build massive authority. Forget what you think you know about SEO, traditional SEO, when it comes to these networks, like trying to hide footprints and all that stuff. We don't do that. And you know, it'll make more sense if you join the Academy. You know, there'll be an offer obviously later, but if you join the Academy, it'll make more sense. But you know, what we do is claim our footprints. And that's what I was talking about earlier with a branded IFTTT network, because all the big brands do it. You know, when you publish a piece of content, what do most people do? Well, they go share it on Facebook or Google Plus, and they tweet about it, and they might post it on LinkedIn, or you know, they share their content on social media. Well, we're doing the same thing, and we're just automating the process, and we actually build up these authority networks, our branded properties, and they're all just extensions of our brand, which could be our website, could be our YouTube channel, it doesn't matter. And so we publish our content, and then all of a sudden it automatically gets syndicated out across all of our brand extension properties, you know, and it drives traffic back to our money properties where the conversions happen, right? So that's really important, is to set up these accounts and then interlink them properly, because it creates what we call a semantic hub, and it ends up powering up the entity, whether it's a website or YouTube channel or whatever, and it gives Google those authority signals that it's looking for. Okay, step 2 is create the IFTTT recipes, and step 3 is to publish content and syndicate to networks. And it's really that easy. Now, there's a lot of steps in setting up the accounts and creating the recipes. Well, actually, the recipes we've created for you, we'll share those with you in a minute. Share those with you here in just a moment. But publish content and syndicate to networks, that's the easy part, right? Because everything else from there happens on autopilot. All right, so step 1, account setup, guys. We're going to run through this fairly quickly. But here's just some of the accounts. This is just a short list, but just to show you some of the properties that we use in the networks. You know, you guys are all recognized or are familiar with these, I'm sure. Best practices is branded properties. So when we talk about tier 1 branded networks, we're talking about building a network of you know, all the properties or extensions of your brand. Just like I mentioned, you want to interlink everything frequency and relevancy, that's really important. What I mean by that is posting. So publishing, or called frequency of publishing, right? That's really important. You want to be publishing content frequently and consistently, whether you're using YouTube as your trigger or your blog as a trigger or both. You want to be, consistently publishing content, and that's what drives this engine. Okay, is the content production and publishing, and having it be relevant content, and you start ranking for all these long tail terms and things like that. It's very important. And also treat all of your properties, your Web 2 properties, all of your IFTTT branded network properties as landing pages, right? Because you can actually generate conversions from these Web 2 properties and these social media posts. It's not as, it doesn't happen as often as driving traffic back to the website, but you certainly can. And so if you treat them all as landing pages and brand them, you have a consistent theme, a consistent branding across everything, okay? And it helps to, people to be more familiar with who you are and recognize who you are. It's really good for branding, all right? Step 2, recipe setup. So I mentioned earlier in the webinar, at the beginning of the webinar, that we would give you the syndication recipes for free. Well, there's the link right there. semanticmastery.com/Webby recipes, one word, Webby recipes. So go ahead, if somebody wants to drop that on the event page for me.
Yeah, it's going on there right now.
Okay, cool. If you guys click on that link, it's going to open up a Google Drive spreadsheet, so a Google Sheet, and you can make a copy of it. Do not ask to edit it, because I will deny your request, because I'll get an email about it if somebody asks to edit it. What you do is click on the File button in the top left corner, and then click on Make a Copy, or download as an Excel file. You can do either one. Okay, I recommend that you keep it as a Drive file, but you can either make a copy and put it in your own Drive account, or you can download it as an Excel file. It's up to you. But guys, you'll see that there is an IFTTT recipes tab on the bottom of that spreadsheet. If you click on that, you will see all of the recipes that we have inside of the IFTTT SEO Academy free. Have at them, guys. That's our gift to you. Okay. So set up the recipes. We're going to show you how to set up recipes here as well. But honestly, setting up recipes is a time-consuming process, and it's so much easier just to use the recipes that we provide in the spreadsheet, because all you have to do is copy the link for the recipe and paste it in your address bar and click go or hit enter. And if you have your IFTTT account set up and the channel's activated, then it will automatically basically set up that recipe for you just using that URL. It'll give you some options that you can edit if you want, and then you click save or add recipe or whatever, and it will actually activate that recipe in your account. So I highly recommend that you just use our recipes instead of creating your own for this particular method anyways, okay? Because it'll save you a lot of time. Plus our recipes have been tested and put through the ringer, and the ones that we provide are what we use in our own businesses. All right, so this is the actual recipe book. Oops, excuse me, I must hit the button. This is part of the actual spreadsheet, and you can see the recipes here. You just copy one of them, paste it in the address bar, and it'll give you a screen like this, and it'll say, make sure you connect Bitly before adding this recipe. Once you connect Bitly, then you can click add, and it'll add it to your account. Okay, so that's it. That's all you got to do for creating recipes. And then step 3 is to post and test. All right, that's really important. So publish a post or upload a video. It doesn't matter whether you're using YouTube or your own blog or a website. It doesn't matter. But you just want to publish some content and then let it syndicate, okay, through the recipes that we just gave you. So for videos, use playlists. See the YouTube Silo Academy. For those of you that are unaware of this, you can actually silo YouTube channels like you would a website. If you're familiar with website silo architecture, it's a very, very powerful way to help websites rank. It all has to do with internal linking and on-page SEO, but it's incredibly effective. Well, you can apply the exact same principles, silo architecture, to YouTube channels. And you do it using playlists. So those of you doing video SEO, YouTube playlists are incredibly powerful if you know how to use them properly. And we teach that in another course. It's only $7. It's called YouTube Silo Academy. If you guys are interested in that or you don't already have it, just go check out YouTube Silo Academy. Go Google it. You'll see our link for it. It's $7. Pick it up. It's totally worth it. Okay. For websites, use internal linking within posts. We teach exactly how we use blogging for SEO with our IFTTT SEO networks. Okay. We teach that inside the academy, but essentially what you do is you create blog posts, those get syndicated out. So you use the internal linking from within the blog post to link up to the pages on the site that you're trying to rank. And that's how you end up ranking the pages, which is where you're going to generate most of your traffic from Google search, if that makes sense, okay? Wait for the content to syndicate. IFTTT, it's not instant. There is a delay for it to go determine that a new post has been published and then for it to trigger and publish to the properties. If you let it happen naturally, it takes about 30 to 60 minutes before it will, before everything will have been syndicated, depending on how large your network is, that sort of thing. Or you can force the recipe manually if you're impatient, which usually when I set up a new network, I don't like to wait. So I'll publish a piece of content and then go force the recipe to actually trigger manually, and then that way I can confirm that the recipes are working correctly. Okay, and that's perfectly fine to do. So here's an example of what a post looks like from our money site. So this is an actual blog post on semanticmastery.com. And then you can see that this is the syndicated post to our Tumblr blog. So this is our semanticmastery.tumblr.com blog. And you can see that it ends up looking very much like the post on our website. And that's where we talk about it's really important to brand everything consistently. And then what happens is these are all extensions of your brand. Somebody that landed on this would recognize the same look and feel that we have on our website. Does that make sense? And again, this is our content just automatically gets published to our Tumblr blog. So it's very, very cool and it looks beautiful, right? Here's some examples of some blogs, or excuse me, some videos from a video syndication network that I published during the launch of IFTTT SEO Academy 2.0. That when I published these, you can see this was in March of 2016. That was earlier this year when we first launched this product, and or the version 2.0. And you can see that the videos get syndicated to Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress with the embed, and in the links the way we have the recipe set up. So we get both the embeds plus a link back to the video, and you can we get, you know, by editing the recipes, you can have keyword anchor text links, you could have naked URLs, you could have you know, we link back to the channel, we can link to playlists, there's all kinds of stuff that we can do. And you can see how beautiful these come out, all right? And important, you don't want to miss this, the attribution links. This is really important, especially for syndicating blog content. Attribution link is required for blog syndication. It's not needed for YouTube syndication, but this will help you to avoid duplicate content issues and also copyright infringement, you know, problems. Now, with your own content, it's not a copyright infringement because you're syndicating your own content, but you don't want to get in trouble for duplicate content issues. Guys, really, duplicate content is only an issue if it's this duplicated content on the same domain. Duplicate content on other domains is really a myth. Okay, and what we do, but it's very important though, still, nonetheless, is to create an attribution link. Attribution is, if anybody that's ever been to school and went through an English class or, you know, a writing class would know that whenever you are referencing somebody's content, you're supposed to cite the source. You're supposed to give attribution, attribute where the content came from and who the source of the content was. So attribution links are really important to make sure that you have that when you're syndicating blog content so that you can point back to the original source of where the article was generated or where the post was generated. Okay, and that's what in turn helps to funnel all that SEO juice back to the original source, which would be your blog. Okay, and that's where it's very, very, very powerful. Okay, similar to how press releases work, guys. You know how if you submit a press release, it goes out on the initial press cable, the initial publisher, and then the other press cables pick it up and redistribute it. And there's always a link back to the original the original publisher, right? So it's the same thing that we're doing with our syndication networks. We're syndicating our own content with the link back pointing to its original source. Okay. Yoast RSS has the Yoast SEO plugin for WordPress. WordPress SEO by Yoast is the name of the plugin. They have an RSS. They have attribution already. An attribution link already coded into that plugin, and it's in the advanced settings. I'm going to show you a screenshot of it here in just a moment. But if you're using the Yoast WordPress SEO plugin, which a large percentage of people using WordPress are using that plugin, then your attribution links are taken care of. Okay, you just need to activate that. It's very simple to do. Semantic Mastery has an RSS control plugin. We have one that we coded specifically for our own use, but we provide that as a free for IFTTT SEO Academy members. And that gives more options than the Yoast does, gives us a little bit more control, gives us the ability to add spin tags to our attribution links, that kind of stuff. So we have that available as well. And then also, you can also create attribution links within the IFTTT recipes if needed. You can actually create the attribution link with the recipe itself instead of relying on a plugin. Or if you're not using WordPress and you can't use a plugin, then this is how you would get your attribution link in there. Okay. I'm going to keep rolling, guys. This is the Yoast plugin. If you look at Yoast, go over to the widget, the sidebar menu, hover over it, you can click on Advanced, and then click on the RSS tab, and right here is where you can enter in the attribution text prior to the post body or below the post body. Okay, it's up to you. There are some tokens that you can use, and that's how you create an attribution link. Okay, this is what an attribution looks like. You can see that IFTTT SEO Academy is Bruce Lee approved. And also, when we syndicated this blog post from our blog to, this is a Blogger blog in the background. This is Blogger. And you can see that it says read more here. And then there's a link using the title of the post as the anchor text. And it links to the original post on the on the Semantic Mastery website, or wherever I had syndicated the content from for this particular post. Does that make sense? So that's what the attribution link looks like. All right, guys, and this is a game changer. And, you know, I know that's a cliche, but it really is. And it's been the game, you know, I have built my entire SEO business with IFTTT SEO as the foundation since 2012. And that is the truth. It all starts with IFTTT SEO networks for everything that I do for SEO, for marketing, period. It all starts with IFTTT networks. My partner Marco makes a joke and says that everything that he touches gets an IFTTT network. If his dog sits still long enough, it gets an IFTTT network around its neck. And I think that's funny because it's true. It's like we've just, it works so well for us, guys. We use it for everything, okay? So how can you earn more money plus grow and scale your business at the same time, right? You outsource and automate 95% of your tasks. That's how you do it. If you're doing everything on your own, guys, you know, it's very difficult to scale. But if you learn how to outsource and automate stuff, you can really scale. And this is something that can be 100% outsourced, 100% outsourced, okay? And then you can really scale. So questions you should be asking: how can I automate repetitive tasks? How can I outsource the labor-intensive tasks? How can I spend more time on business instead of in it? That's key, guys, right? If you're working on your business all the time, or excuse me, if you're working in your business all the time, doing all of the activities that are required to run a business, then you're not working on it. And essentially you're self-employed. Now, don't get me wrong. Self-employment is still better than being employed by somebody else. There's no doubt. Okay, there's no doubt. And as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to go self-employed first before you can ever be a real business owner. A real business owner can remove him or herself from the business, and the business still generates revenue. It runs on autopilot, okay, either through automation or through having employees or you know, people in place that can run it for you, or a combination of both. And so, you know, being self-employed is still good. Don't get me wrong. It's better than being an employee. There's no doubt. But being a true business owner requires you to, you know, to be able to step away and still generate revenue and work on your business instead of in it. And that's where you can really start to scale. You work on big picture stuff, $400 and $500 an hour stuff, while you pay other people to work on the $10, $20, and $50 an hour stuff. Does that make sense? So how can you protect your digital assets? That's something else you should always be asking yourself. If you're building a digital marketing empire, then you want to learn how to protect your assets so that you keep them long term. Unless you're in the churn and burn strategy, which some people are into that. I don't particularly like to churn and burn anything. I like to build assets that are going to pay me dividends over long term. And this is IFTTT Networks has been absolutely one of the best and most reliable things that I've been able to do in my SEO career to protect assets. Okay. And how can I get consistent results with less work? Well, we want to help. That's what IFTTT SEO Academy was developed for, guys. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about that. IFTTT SEO Academy version 2.0 was a bestseller of 2015 and now 2016 as well. It was totally revamped and updated for 2016. It was originally launched, like I said, I put all the training together to train virtual assistants. So the training was pretty much there. I just kind of had to pretty it up a bit to bring it to market. And so the training is the exact same training, guys, that we use to train our virtual assistants. And now we have a team of builders of, I don't know, close to 15 builders that are building networks for us full time. So, we provide that as a done for you service. If people want to buy networks from us, they certainly can. And we have network. So the same training that is available inside of IFTTT SEO Academy is the exact same training we put our virtual assistants through. So this literally can take somebody cold off the street that has no online marketing experience, doesn't even know how to spell Web 2.0, and can go through this training and build these networks to the exact same specifications that we build them. Okay, so it is literally step-by-step over-the-shoulder training. Okay, and this is what we put together and have revamped for 2016, because there's certainly always updates. And our new format for the training is we end up doing monthly update webinars, so that it's fluid and that the training continues to evolve with the actual process and method. Okay, automated tools can cost hundreds of dollars per month to operate. Link building tools, you need servers and captchas and proxies, and you need to pay for the tools themselves. Then there's learning curves, there's time invested in running campaigns and building campaigns and link reporting and all. There's so much cost of both time and money that goes into automated tools. And this is something that is going to help automate a lot of it. Okay, our mastermind community, this is just as kind of like a point of reference for you guys. Our mastermind community, which is our top level coaching program, that's $297 a month. Our masterclass community, which is our mid-grade or our intermediate level coaching coaching program, is $147 a month. But we've got IFTTT SEO Academy available for a yearly price of $497 or monthly access at $67. And as we mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, we do monthly update webinars, and sometimes we get a little carried away with the update webinars like we did yesterday, and we give away a lot of really high-level stuff that is typically reserved for mastermind. Yesterday we gave a lot away. So for $67, you're getting access to the IFTTT SEO Academy training, all the updates, the update webinars, and then as well, you get access to the community of peers of other people using the system, our program, and there's a lot of networking that goes on in there, and people sharing tips and strategies there. All right, we're going to keep going with this, guys, but I wanted to share those are the links if you want to go check out the offer. There's a yearly access and there's monthly access. Okay, got a couple more things I'd like to go through. I'll tell you about what's inside all of what's included. There's over 100 training videos. I know that seems daunting, but this, like I mentioned before, it's complete over-the-shoulder tutorials, guys. How many of you have bought training programs and you go through it and you end up with more questions than you have answers? Or it's the concepts are there, but the nitty-gritty details aren't. So it makes it difficult to take action and fully implement the process that they were trying to convey or teach within the program. How many of you have had experience that? I know I have, and that's something that I can't stand. Well, this product has been, the training videos, the reason there's so many is because, again, this was literally developed to train virtual assistants. This wasn't originally developed to be a product to market. Okay, this was just for training virtual assistants. So I will hire virtual assistants from the Philippines and pay $3.50 an hour and put them through this training, and then they build networks for me. And then I can sell the networks. I can put them around properties. I can do whatever it is that I want to monetize the networks multiple ways. And we teach inside the academy how to monetize the networks. There's entire webinars about how specifically just how to monetize these networks. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So there's that over 100 training videos. That's a lot, but it's because it literally is step by step. Every single step of the way is there for you. All right, we've got a powerful community of entrepreneurs. Updates and new strategies and monthly webinars. That's what we talk about. We have a Facebook group. We are transitioning to a different Facebook group right now, but the Facebook group is essentially the forum and the networking group, the peer group, so that you can get answers to questions and network with others and hear about other people's successes and the things that they're doing that are working. Okay, and then we have our monthly update webinars. Automate your ranking in SEO with powerful techniques, guys. Free your time from building links manually. Who likes to do that? Anybody like to build links manually? I don't. It's something that's kind of a necessary evil if you're doing SEO work, but anything that we can do to reduce the amount of manual work is certainly something I'm interested in doing. Get more exposure while staying within Google's terms of service. And guys, this is where, people that already have SEO knowledge oftentimes question at first our methods, because it's kind of counterintuitive to what you think you know about SEO. But we've been using this method, and you know, sharing your own content to your own branded properties, there is nothing against the Google's terms of service for doing that, and it ends up providing a lot of the signals that Google's looking for. Okay, and again, it's been consistent results now for over 4 years. Get more visitors and traffic using social media, generate trust, build identity and authority with the interlinking. It's very, very key. It's very important that you do that and create a long-term business. You know, don't want to build your business on a house of cards or a foundation of, you know, sand. You want to build it on rock, solid rock, for long-term business. Okay, and that's what we've done. Again, this IFTTT SEO networks are the foundation of my business. Detailed video training. These are the modules. The first module we have in the course is updates. That's where any new training is posted, or update webinars, changes to properties that occur. You know, we record the training videos or update videos and we put them in there. So we always put the update module first. That way, somebody brand new coming into the training can actually watch the updates first, so that when they go through the rest of the training, they'll already be aware of some, you know, interface changes or anything like that, because the updates will have, you know, made them aware of those changes prior to them going through the you know, the regular training videos, if that makes sense. Then module 2 is all about setup, prepare for building. This is key. If you don't set up properly, then you can end up, you know, creating networks that aren't as effective. So it's really important to set up properly, follow all the instructions. Module 3 is setup plus interlinking of accounts. That's essentially where we create the accounts, create the IFTTT account, connect everything, and then interlink all the accounts together. Very, very important. Module 4 is the automation triggers. This is where I go through and actually walk through how to create recipes so that you can create your own custom recipes if you'd like. However, again, we provide all the recipes for you, so you don't have to. But I know some people that are do-it-yourselfers, they want to do that stuff. That's why we have this module. Module 5 is advanced strategies. And module 6 is use training. Hernan, my partner Hernan, he did all the use training, because IFTTT SEO networks can be used for much more than just SEO. They can be used for podcasting, for e-commerce, for online reputation management, for video SEO, just a number of things. And so he went through multiple ways that we can use IFTTT networks. Okay. Module 7, what we call live stream sites. Live stream sites are not IFTTT dependent, but they are sites that we can syndicate content to in an automated way. So we have other properties in there that are not part of IFTTT, or they don't integrate with IFTTT, but there's still additional sites that we can publish content to automate in 100% automated fashion. All right, module 8 is the advanced RSS. This is something, I think RSS is one of the most underused technologies on the web. You know, and it's almost funny to call RSS a technology because it's so old now, but it's still so underutilized. And we teach ways to supercharge your networks using the RSS feeds that are provided. And you know, it's once again, it's hands-free. You set it up one time and you're done. It will continue to pay dividends over and over again. Okay, very important. Our advanced RSS strategy. A lot of people say that they learn more in that than anything else, which is pretty cool. And then module 9 is advanced link building. This is a webinar that we did where we talked about advanced link building strategies for ranking, for stuff that's just, you know, when you need more than just IFTTT networks to rank, which obviously, guys, IFTTT networks are not the magic bullet. There are certainly going to be keywords that are going to require more than just syndicating your content to a network, but we teach other methods to improve the results, okay? And when you need that additional push, that's what this last couple modules are for. Module 9 is the advanced link building, and module 10 is our video power. Again, another webinar specifically about boosting videos beyond just the IFTTT syndication model, okay? All right, so powerful entrepreneur community, private Facebook community, easy communication with us, as well as, you know, we have some moderators, some heavy power users of IFTTT that are in there that help moderate the group. And they're very, very helpful and knowledgeable. And you also have your other, you know, peers that you can communicate with. Get ahead of the competition and uncover opportunities, okay? That's really key. Access to updates and webinars, new strategies and methods every single month. Results and case studies, we shared those. We have students that are sharing case studies. We also incentivize people to create case or to share case studies. You know, if you share a case study with us and are open to sharing case studies and results that you've gotten using the IFTTT SEO methods, then we end up, doing something special for you, giving you access to our mastermind for a few months for being cool and sharing your experiences. Because what we found is when other people share their experiences, when it's not just coming from us, but it's coming from our students and sharing the experiences that they're having, that it encourages other people that might not have taken action because they doubted themselves, blah, blah, blah. But when they see that other students are making money and are achieving results and having success, that encourages them to take action. So it's kind of a snowball effect. So we certainly want to encourage anybody to provide case studies, and you'll see some of those inside the Academy members area or the Facebook group. Dead accounts and new properties. That happens, guys. Some accounts get removed from IFTTT, but new ones are added all the time. So we always cover that stuff in the updates. Right now, you can join for $4.97 yearly or $67 a month if you want to join monthly. That's perfectly fine as well. And this is what you get, just a recap, and then we're going to get into some results, and then we'll get into some questions. We should be done here in just a couple minutes, guys, and we'll take some questions. You'll get all this 110 plus over-the-shoulder step-by-step videos, powerful entrepreneurship, community, free updates and new strategies, monthly webinars, modules 1 through 5, which is the core training, bonuses 1 and 2, which is the advanced link building and advanced video ranking, those are the live stream site modules and the advanced RSS automation modules. And then our bonuses were the bonus module, bonus webinar 1 and 2, which is advanced link building and the video power webinar. And we give you a 30 days, no questions asked refund guarantee, guys. If you find out, if you get into it and you join the Academy and you open it up and you go through it and it's just too much work for you, which by the way, I hammer away throughout the entire training, that you shouldn't be building the networks yourself other than just the first 1 or 2, just so that you really get an understanding of how they work and you can put them together. But then you should outsource the builds from that point forward, guys. This is not something that you should be doing. You can outsource it. You can hire your own virtual assistant, put them through your IFTTT SEO Academy training, the same training that we use to train our virtual assistants to build networks for us. So it's perfectly fine if you want to put your VA through. And then you have a VA that you're paying to build networks for you while you focus on higher level stuff. That's what you should be doing. Or you can hire us. We have done for you network building services, and they are built to our specifications, so you know they're done right. And you can certainly buy them from us. But I do recommend that you get the course and learn how it works, because if you're going to be using them and you have an intimate understanding of how they work and how everything fits together, then it's going to make it easier to sell the networks, easier to use them, and also in case things break down, which from time to time it will, you'll be able to jump in and troubleshoot very quickly and get the networks working again. Okay, I think it's important that you understand how they work before just outsourcing it. Okay, but I highly recommend you outsource it afterwards. All right, so again, you can get $4.97 for the year, $67 a month, and 30-day no question asked guarantee. It's 10 times the value of the cost, guys. We've got people in our group that are just crushing it with IFTTT SEO. We have testimonials and case studies that come through, and it's quite impressive. We have one of our mastermind members that was selling the IFTTT networks to real estate agents, and he was selling them for $1,995, guys, $2,000, and he's got literally photographs of the check that he sent us that he's receiving from real estate agents. And which is crazy because he's selling them more than I do. I sell single tier rings to local businesses for $700, $697, and my partners tell him I'm selling them too cheap. So like, it's just insane. And it cost me to have a virtual assistant build a network for me. It cost me roughly $50, right? So it's a $650 profit off of a network. All right, so there's no doubt it's 10 times the value of the cost. Here are some testimonials. Guys, I'm not going to read these testimonials. You can see some of them here. If you'd like, we can come back while we're answering questions, and I'll put some testimonial slides up. But what I think I'd rather do is show some live examples of some stuff that we've got ranked right now that using IFTTT SEO methods. I think you guys might be more interested in seeing live examples. You can see some testimonials on the IFTTT SEO sales page if you'd like. You could certainly check that out if you wanted to, but otherwise, I'd rather show you some examples, and I can put these back up later. But let me jump out of the presentation for a minute, and we'll look at a couple examples, and then we're going to take questions, guys. So bear with me for one moment while I make this bigger. That's good enough. All right, so I'm in Firefox. Can you guys see my full screen? You should be able to see it. Somebody confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see it.
All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of live examples. I got some things here that this is a clean browser just to prove it. I'll go to history, clear research history, clear now. I'll go ahead and clear cache and cookies, which by the way, I show you guys how to do all of this inside of the IFTTT SEO Academy. So this is a clean browser now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few of these keyword phrases. These are just some examples that I've shared publicly. That's why I don't mind sharing them here. But here's an example of a video SEO, a video that I syndicated back in July of last year for a city near me, and for SEO Charlottesville, VA. And this went out across a network, like I said, about what, a year and 2 or 3 months ago, about a year and 2 months ago. So 14 months ago, and it's still ranked, you know, in the top 5 against all the other SEO agencies in Charlottesville, which is interesting because it's just a video, guys. And all I did was syndicate it to a video network that I had. Okay, it was the How to SEO network that I built, which was essentially 5 full 2-tier networks. I don't want to confuse anybody. If you get into the academy, you'll learn about what 2-tier networks are. And I essentially, what's one of the most powerful and beautiful things about this, especially for video SEO guys, is you can stack as many networks on a YouTube channel as you want. So it's literally unlimited. It's only limited by your imagination or your how much effort you want to put into it. So like, for example, with the How to SEO network, we had a total of 5 full 2-tier networks. A full 2-tier network is 4 IFTTT syndication rings. So 5 full 2-tier networks is a total of 20 rings. 20 rings with roughly 22 properties per ring. You're looking at 440 properties that the video gets syndicated to 100% on autopilot. All I had to do was upload the video to the channel or live stream. In this case, I live streamed it. Okay, and I get syndicated to 400 properties that are themed properties, right? They all had similar type content on and that kind of thing. And so all I did was push this video out across that network, again, by just uploading or live streaming. In this case, it was a live stream. And then this one ranked. It didn't rank to here, but I did some other things that are taught in the advanced link building and the video power webinars, the bonus webinars. And I did a couple other things to get it to rank. And then I hadn't touched it ever since. It took me under 30 days, and it's been there for over, what, about 14 months now. It's been in the top 5 for 14 months. I haven't done another thing yet. Okay, so that I'm going to show you guys a couple local examples, both video and website stuff. And then I'm going to show you a affiliate example of something that we actually just did this week, so you can see like something incredibly recent and the results from that. So that's one of them. Let me show you a couple others here. This is going to be a local example for a website, guys. For those of you that are doing local SEO for either clients or for lead gen, here is one that we did for our Semantic Mastery Masterclass, which is our intermediate level coaching program. And this is using IFTTT SEO methods. So for those of you that are unaware, IFTTT SEO is our academy, is our entry level point for coaching. And then we go to our masterclass is intermediate, and then our mastermind is our advanced. Well, everything stacks. So in other words, everything that we teach in the masterclass is built upon the IFTTT SEO as the foundation. And so this right here is an example of a site that I built as a case study specifically for masterclass using IFTTT SEO Academy methods. And you can see that I'm ranked #1 in maps. This is my site, okay? Gainesville Home Pros. For home remodeling Gainesville, let me go through. I'm going to go through a few different keywords here because I was targeting 5 keywords when I created this case study. And I'm going to walk through each one of these really quickly so you can see results. Kitchen remodeling. Guys, I'll walk through how this fits together here in just a minute. So kitchen remodeling, #1 in maps as well. Okay, I could go through, let's just do bathroom remodeling. There's a couple other ones, but I don't want to spend too much time going through these results. I just wanted to prove to you guys what kind of results you can get. Gainesville, VA. Okay, so #2 in maps for bathroom remodeling. There's basement remodeling is another one. Just remodeling, which is the broader term. That's another one. But you guys can see that basically I'm in the maps pack for all the keywords that I wanted to rank for, and I'm doing really well. And here's the thing. Let me open this up and show you. All this is a local business theme, right? This is an Ink Themes, in fact, if I happen to use Ink Themes a lot. And all we did was create the site. We have the site siloed out with good content. We don't teach how to build websites inside of IFTTT SEO Academy, guys. That's taught in Masterclass, okay? But I'm trying to show you right now what the model that we teach on how to use the blog for SEO. That is IFTTT SEO Academy, and that's what we did here. So we built the site, siloed the site with good pages, good content. It's all unique content. It's not spun scrape crap. And then we started blogging. I have virtual assistants that do blogging for us, or for me, for my clients and my lead gen properties. And this, I taught a virtual assistant how to blog. That we have a whole nother training course on that, but that's a whole nother webinar. And all she did was start posting blog posts to this blog. And I think she did a total of 12 blog posts, and over this course of about 6 weeks. And the site has been ranking, and this was done in June or July of last year, right around the same time I did this video, and because it was all part of the masterclass training. And this site has been ranked ever since that, and I haven't done a damn thing, guys. I don't build additional links. I don't build additional citations. A blog post hasn't even been published on this blog since September 1st of 2015. That was the last time a blog post was even published to this site, guys. And we're still #1 or in the MAPS 3-pack for most of our keyword phrases. Okay, so very, very powerful strategy. And again, it was completely accomplished by doing IFTTT SEO network and blogging, and in a few citations because it's a local business. That was it. Okay, so I want to share that. Got just 2 more examples I want to show you. Here's another one for Video SEO Virginia. I want to show you this one because I have a friend and a colleague of mine. Here we are, Video SEO Virginia. You can see I've got this one, which was actually, I was targeting Virginia Beach, but I ended up ranking for the whole state for Video SEO Virginia. And this was October of 2014, guys. So about 2 years, this video has been right at #1. I dance back and forth with this dude, and I know this guy. This is David Espelat. He's a beast. He's also a ninja. He's a friend and a colleague of mine. I've had lunch with the guy. He's a good dude, and so him and I have been battling. And it's funny because I haven't ever touched this since the day that I uploaded it. I've never done anything else to it. But these two kind of swap back and forth, and it's kind of funny because this is just one of those videos. It's just stuck. But here's what I want to show you about this, guys, because it's not just the video itself. What I want to show you was, remember in the beginning of the webinar when I was giving you the backstory about how I discovered this method and how I noticed that not only was my website ranking and the video from using the IFTTT networks, but I started seeing my IFTTT network properties ranking also, right? Remember I said that? Well, here, check this out, guys. Video SEO Virginia. Here's my video. That was the target property, right? But if you scroll down here, here's a Google My Maps. That's taught in another course of ours called RYS Academy on how to use Google My Maps and a bunch of other stuff. So I won't get into that. But here is our Evernote notebook. Evernote is one of the properties in the IFTTT network. This is my notebook here. Then here's a WordPress.com site that comes from my network, my syndication network. Okay, so this is one of the syndication networks that video was published to. So you can see that we have multiple listings on page 1 here just because of the syndication, right, from this one video. So, and if I go back to page 2, you'll see there will be other properties here as well. This one here, right here, this is another one. This is actually one of my syndication like PBNs, private blog network sites. You can see that there. There's another one. So it's really, really cool how powerful these are. All right, here's another one from Facebook. This is from syndicating to Facebook. So you can see it's very, very powerful. All right, I've got one more example I want to show you, and then we'll get into some questions, guys. This is an affiliate promo that we did for Simon Dadia. We just did this last week. We did a webinar with him last week. And obviously semanticmastery.com, our YouTube channel, because we produce a lot of video through Semantic Mastery. You know, we do a lot of webinars and stuff like that. And our channel inherently has a lot of authority. So that in part has to do with the fact that we ranked so quickly for a term like this when there's a lot of competition promoting this Browsio offer right now, because it's a fantastic tool, by the way. And I encourage you guys to go click on our video and watch the webinar because it is an incredibly powerful tool, Browsio. But my point is this is something that's really hot. There's a lot of heavy hitters that are promoting this. And we did a webinar with Simon last week on September 7th, 2016. You can see the day right here. And we're ranked, and of course, all of the videos that go on to our channel, as well as our blog, semanticmastery.com, we have a syndication network. So everything gets syndicated out across the network, okay? And since we publish a lot of content, our networks are very, very powerful, right? Because we do a lot of publishing of content, and it's all the same, you know, it's all themed in the same topics, SEO, marketing, social media, that kind of stuff. So, but we ranked this, and then, you know, it's funny because we also have our RYS Academy, and you can see a bunch of our other properties here ranked. These are our Google site here, Google site here. This is our YouTube video. This is our Google site here. Here's semanticmastery.com, our blog. So you can see we got several listings on page 1, 2 through 5, just because we, you know what the hell we're doing, and it's pretty powerful. And this was, like I said, a really current example of what having a network, and especially a powerful network that's been built up over time, can do for you guys. It's almost like instantaneous rankings, and they stick, and it's 100% on autopilot, guys. That's all you do. Once the networks are built, you just publish content. That's it. It's done. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. We can go back. I'll put this up, and then I'd like to answer some questions. Do we have some questions, Adam, that you can point out?
Just before you move on, I just wanted to give our RYSVA some love, man, because he rocked that out. He just hit that in less than 10 hours. He hit that.
Yeah,
just dead in the head. So lots of love going to our done for you RYSVA.
Yeah. All right, and that's right, Adam. Thanks. Adam just posted in Slack about our bonuses. I forgot to mention, we're going to take some Q&A, guys, now, but this was an unannounced bonus, guys, for those of you that stayed through the webinar. We have a program called YouTube Mastery. It was recorded last year, so there has been some slight interface changes in YouTube, but all the principles are the same as far as how to build channels and set them up properly with the most SEO value. And that's what we call YouTube Mastery, and it's a full-on training course, guys. If you go to YouTube, youtube.semanticmastery.com, you'll see the sales page for it. It sells for $67, but we're going to give it as a bonus for anybody that purchases IFTTT SEO Academy or comes and joins us in the academy. For 24 hours only, we're going to throw this in. You have to redeem once you've purchased IFTTT SEO Academy. Just submit your receipt to support@semanticmastery.com, and we'll hook you up with access to YouTube Mastery. It's again a whole another training course specifically for setting up YouTube channels for the most SEO bang. Okay, does that make sense? And that's I highly encourage anybody doing video SEO that you get this bonus and go through so that you know that your channels are set up properly. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. With that said, I'm going to leave this up in the corner, and then I'm going to get to some questions.
Alrighty. Yeah, looking through here, we got a couple that get kind of in depth, but Harry Jameson said hello. Happy belated birthday.
Hey, Harry. Harry's the coolest guy in Virginia. Go Google the coolest guy in Virginia, and you'll learn about Harry. he's a beast.
Let's see. Here you go. Brian's asking, are there benefits or efficiencies from triggering from one platform versus another, or is diversification of triggers a good thing?
No, I mean, you certainly could. You can get as creative as you want, but typically I use one of two triggers, either YouTube or an RSS feed. Okay, anything that has an RSS feed can be used as a trigger, but I typically will use a self-hosted WordPress site as my content distribution engine, and that's triggered via RSS. But again, if you go into the training, you'll see that for two-tier networks or tiered networks, we end up using Blogger, Tumblr, and WordPress from your tier 1 network to trigger second-tier networks. And that's, again, 100% on autopilot. Using the RSS feed, it acts as the trigger. And so, yeah, I mean, you could essentially think about this. You could put an IFTTT network around your money site or your YouTube channel, whatever. And then you could literally create an IFTTT network for almost or virtually every property in that network. Think about that, because you could literally have like Delicious triggering a whole nother network, Digo triggering a whole nother network, Drive, OneNote, all these different things could end up triggering their own networks. Now, that, in my opinion, is a bit extreme. The way that we set up tiered networks is using the three blog properties, the three primary blog properties within the first tier network, again, Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, to trigger second tier networks. And we found that is, there's always the law of diminishing returns where you can do more and more and more, but you end up receiving less and less benefit. So like we found that the best balance is just to use the three blog properties as second tier triggers. But you can get creative and test, and we certainly encourage you to test. Okay.
Cool. Let's see. Brian is saying, is there an upgrade path for members of IFTTT version 1? That's a good question.
I think we had a special launch pricing that we gave for people that wanted to join. We might be able to still honor that. Just contact us at support@semanticmastery.com, and tell us that you had been in the first, you purchased the first version, and we'll hook you up with some sort of special offer to get you in. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, Brian, I'm just going to put that on there. Everybody can see it. I'm just writing the email address down. Hit us up, and we'll work something out.
I like Shane's comment. Shane says, yes, way too many shiny objects out there, getting distracted. Yeah, Shane, that's the problem, man. And the thing is we teach this inside of our, our coaching programs all the time, that most of you attending here today probably already have a ton of tools on your desk, on your computers that are probably being underutilized. And it's like, just pick one and learn it and use it and put it into practice until you start achieving results. Because I know the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? It's always green on the other side of the fence. But the thing is we're always looking for the next best thing, the next thing that's going to make our jobs easier. And we never fully master any one of them. And that's where we found that, tools are great because we use tools in our business too, but really we like to outsource most everything so that we have like a human involved that can learn and can adjust and modify and evolve and that kind of stuff. And to us, that just works better than just relying solely on tools. Okay. And that's why like our networks are manually built. We manually build these IFTTT networks, or at least our virtual assistants do now. I rarely ever build a network anymore. But, it's because there are tools out there that can build, create accounts and stuff like that, but they're never quite as effective or built the way that we build them, which gives them longevity. Okay. And so I think that's really important. Shiny object syndrome, guys, we all suffer from it. We're all marketers, or else you wouldn't even be on this webinar. I know I suffer from it, but it's just a matter of, getting control of it and then really focusing in on just one or two methods, and that's it. And just mastering those, because then you'll start to achieve success. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay.
Good deal. Let's see. Cliff just posted something here. Sorry to be so basic. How can I get my arms around the entire tier 1 and tier 2 concepts and how they connect to either a blog or a YouTube? And I think we can actually help him out with, I can grab the links from our support, but there's also the in-depth explanations of that in the training as well.
Yeah, if you want to grab one of like the knowledge base articles for tiered networks or something.
Yeah, I'll do that, Cliff. I'm going to post those on here. Good question. Just don't be sorry. I mean, it can take a little while to wrap your mind about, and that's probably one of the most asked questions. So while I'm doing that, Bradley, if you want to scroll down, there's a couple other questions that are more in depth. If you want to take a look at those, I'm not sure if we want to answer them here or not, but there's some
Well, I
more
saw
in-depth
Michael
stuff.
Frank's question. That's a question, Michael, that should be reserved for Hump Day Hangouts. By the way, guys, for those of you that are attending, whether you join IFTTT SEO Academy or not, that's cool. It's totally cool. We invite you to come check us out at Hump Day Hangouts every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's we give an hour of our time every single week to answer questions. It's 100% free. It's not a pitch fest. It's a Q&A. Obviously, we'll do announcements in the beginning. Occasionally, we have something that we promote or talk about or whatever. But it's literally Q&A where we just answer questions that you guys submit on the event page, just like the one you're on now. Highly encourage you to check it out. That's at semanticmastery.com/hump day. That's one word. And you can RSVP. It's just a Google event page just like this. And again, every single Wednesday, we just did our 97th episode yesterday. So we've been at it for 2 years straight. And we certainly encourage you to come join us over there. So Michael, this question should be reserved for that. This was not really about Q&A for, how the networks, your own strategy. We'd be happy to answer that for you though in Hump Day Hangouts, okay? All right, can you point me to the next one? Because I'm not sure where I should be going next.
Yeah, I'm just looking right now. I think that's going to be about it. By the way, if anybody's got questions, now's the time. Obviously, we're going to be wrapping things up, so if you've got a question. I see down near the bottom, okay, there was, so Michael Franks, and then Michael Wheaton also.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, yeah, which I think that's kind of a Hump Day Hangout question.
Yeah, and Michael, I think Michael Wheaton's in more than just the IFTTT SEO Academy. Michael, if you're in one of the other groups, you can always post in, Masterclass if you're in that, which I think you are, but I can't swear to it. Or else put it on Hump Day Hangouts. We'll be happy to answer you, or in the Facebook group. So it's up to you.
Awesome. Ivan says, been following the Hump Day and it rocks. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's sweet. Let's see.
Yeah, so we'll give everybody a minute. I did post a link for that. If anybody's interested, you can always check out our support.semanticmastery.com. Tons of info there where we've answered questions. Most of them are video answers with like live walkthroughs of stuff. So a lot of information there. And then obviously inside the training, you know, as Bradley's kind of more formalized answers or walkthroughs on how to do that stuff, or explaining the tiered networks, how, you know, best practices, things like that.
Yeah. Ryan says, woohoo, 97 Hump Day Hangouts. Yeah, buddy. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary, and we're going to be doing a big sweepstakes giveaway. That'll be the 104th episode. So you guys, I highly encourage you, come join it, check it out, and that way you can also participate in the big sweepstakes. Like, we give away mastermind memberships, RYS Academy. It's a $1,200 product. You know, there's stuff that we do. Typically, we did that at the 1-year anniversary, so I'm sure we're going to do something very similar to that this year. So definitely want to check that out. Okay.
Good deal.
Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, guys. You know, hopefully you guys found that useful. You know, again, this was more for those of you that may have heard about IFTTT SEO and wanted to learn more about what it is. You know, we are the originators of it. I mean, in so much as I was introduced to it by David Koss, and I always want to give him credit for that. He goes by Cossack as another one of his terms, but I always give credit where credit is due. And that $7 WSO had changed my business. Like, I can't imagine where my business would be today without having purchased a $7 PDF that literally transformed my business. And that's what's so amazing. It's something so simple can have such an impact, and that's what this is. And it's been consistent for over 4 years, and that's insane in SEO. Yeah, I mean, there were certainly basics, guys, that you know, never really go away with SEO. But for a particular method that's been this effective and has only seemed to become more effective over time, that's a rarity. And so, you know, I highly encourage any of you that are doing SEO or marketing, period, check it out, because you'll get a lot more reach from your content, and it automates so much that you're able to scale a lot faster where you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Okay. So, well, I appreciate everybody being here. If you have any additional questions, remember, Hump Day Hangouts, that's what it's for. So we certainly encourage you guys to check us out over there. That's semanticmastery.com/Hump Day. You can also always find the link at semanticmastery.com. Just go to our main site, and you'll always be able to find a link that will take you over to Hump Day Hangouts. So thanks again for everybody being here. And thanks, Adam, Hernan, and Marco, for being with me.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye-bye.